Okay, this is not a question, but this is something you need in order to solve the further questions. You don't have to prove this. Prove ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. Proof is not important, and we are not going to prove also. Okay, proof is not important, but you should know this. Okay, you just have to know this. You can make a note of this. Okay, yeah, good, Sahana. So suppose f and g are two real valued functions. Okay, such that f composition g is defined. Okay, so which means if you have two functions f and g anta ಎರಡು functions iddu, f composition g kuda define agide. Composition of two functions, that is f composition g is define agiddu, and if g is continuous at some point, g ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಸಪೋಸ್ g is continuous at c, c ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ c ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, f ಮತ್ತೆ g ಗೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, f and g will have same domain or some domain, it need not be same, ಅದು ಎರಡಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದ ಕಾರಣ ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ g ಯ ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ c. Okay, and at that point c, g is continuous. Okay, at that point c, g is continuous, and f is continuous. ಈಗ g of x ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ x square, and g is continuous at some c, so c square ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು, c square ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಹೌದಾ? even this is a value. Do you agree with this, students? c square is a real number. Do you agree with this? Yes, c square is also a real number. So what we are going to do is, if f is, okay, if f is continuous at this point, okay, if f is continuous at this point, c square andre ಏನು, g of c. So if f is continuous at g of c, then, okay, f composition g is continuous at c. Okay, f composition g is continuous at c. So this is the theorem. So if you have two functions, remember or listen carefully, if you have two functions which is real valued function, and the answer nimage real number baruvanta function galu. Okay, so real valued functions, f and g are two real valued functions, and g continuous. Okay, g ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, say at a c. g ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮೂರು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ at c. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಅದು ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ g of c ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ರಿಯಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಆ ರಿಯಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ f ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ f composition g is continuous at same c. So this is the theorem. So if you have some confusion regarding the theorem, you can understand when we solve the problems. Okay, so we'll go for the problems. Okay, so this is the problem. You have to show that the function defined by, okay, how the function is defined. The function is defined as f of x is equal to sine x square. Okay, f of x is equal to sine x square. So ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, this is a composition of two functions. Okay, this f is a composition of two functions. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಂಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. So can anyone tell me that which are the two functions over here? ಈ ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? Can anyone give me the answer? Sine and, yeah, one function is correct, sine x, and the other function is sine x. One function is correct, sine x, the other one. So let me see who will give me the second function. Sin x and x, no, not x. First function is correct, sin x. Polynomial, which is that polynomial? Dikshita, it is polynomial. Which is that polynomial? Yeah, one function is sin x. Good, Dikshita. X square is the other function. Dikshita, good. So other function is x square. How? So if I take one function as h of x is equal to x square, and the other function as g of x is equal to sin x. Okay, I've taken two functions and I say that the composition of these two functions gives me f of x. Okay, the composition of these two functions will give me f of x. How? We'll see that. Okay, if I do Okay, if I do G composition H of X. So if I do G composition H of X. So what according to the definition it is? G of H of X. Correct? Do you agree with this, students? G composition H of X is nothing but G of H of X. Yes. Okay. So now what is H of X? What is H of X? What I have taken as H of X? X square. Okay, so H of X ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ? X square ಅಂತ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Okay, X square ಅಂತ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Now, what is G of X square then? What is G of X? What is G of X? Is sin X. Okay, G of X is sin X. Then what is G of 1? Yeah, good news, Fatima. What is G of 1? What is G of 1? G of 1. G of X andre sin X. Andre X idda ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ? sin X ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. What is G of 1? What is G of 1? Good, Sahana. It is sin 1. Good, Almas. Yes, good, Noor Fatima. It is sin 1. ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ X ಇದ್ದಾಗ sin X ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಆದಾಗ sin 1 ಆಗಬೇಕು. Okay, X ಇರೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. So then what is G of X square? Then what is G of X square, students? What is G of X square? Sin X square. Good. Sin X square. But what is sin X square? But what is sin X square? What is sin X square? It is f of X. Correct? It is f of X. So you can see that my f of X, I have written it as composition of two functions. Okay? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ? This f of X, the same f of X, you can see that we have written it as composition of two functions. Okay, so composition of two function ಆಯ್ತು. So composition of two function ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? If h of X and g of X is continuous. Okay, if h of X and g of X is continuous. Okay, okay, if it is getting confused, remember this much. f of X ಅಂದ್ರೆ sin X square ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಆ sin X square ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಟು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್? ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ X square, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು sin X. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು G composition H of X ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ f of X ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? f of X ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದು ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, now what I have to prove? This function, this composition of two functions, that is f of X is continuous anta prove ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾನು. I have to prove it is continuous. So what about X square, students? Whether it is a continuous function? What about X square? Whether it is a continuous function? X square. Yes. Why it is continuous? Can anyone tell me that? Why it is a continuous function? Why it is a continuous function? Yes, it is a polynomial. Good, Subramanya. Yes, it is a polynomial. Good, Noor Fatima. So ಯಾಕೆ h of x continuous ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? Because h of x is x square. X square is nothing but polynomial function, and we know that polynomial function is always continuous. Okay, polynomial function is always continuous. So ಏನಾಯ್ತು? h of x continuous ಆಯ್ತು. What about g of x? Whether sin x is a continuous function? Whether sin x is a continuous function? Yes, this also we have proved. Andre sin ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ಯಾವುದೇ ರಿಯಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, function is continuous. I think with this we have proved, right? So to sin, if I give any value, sin ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು continuous, which means sin 1 is continuous, sin 2 is continuous, sin 30 is continuous, sin 40 degree is continuous. Correct? Correct, students? Correct? Yes. So which means sin x square is continuous agbekala? Howda? Which means sin x square should also be continuous, right? Yes, because sin function is continuous in the entire domain. Prove ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, sin x square continuous ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. Why sin x square is continuous? Because x square is a continuous function and sin it, that value, sin it x square is also continuous. Being a composition of two functions, f of x is, being composition of two continuous functions, f of x is continuous. Being composition of two functions, f of x is continuous. Okay. Is this clear, students? Is this clear? Yes, we'll see one more example so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, yeah. So this is the next example. So f of x they have given f of x is equal to modulus of 1 minus x plus mod x. Okay, yeah. So can anyone tell me, is this a composition of two functions? Eradu functions ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? And what are those functions? Yes, this is a composition of two functions. Okay. What is h of x then? Or what is g of x? No. No, Dikshita. Think. No, Bhagya, Subramanya. It's not a correct answer. Think or check your answers again. Yavudalli eradu functions ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು? Let me see who will identify the two functions exactly. Think. Think. It is not the correct answer. Whoever has given the answer. What are the two functions? What are the two functions? Good, Dikshita. First function is mod x. Okay. Yeah. What is the second function? Okay. G of x is mod x. What is the second function? What is the one more function which you can find? No, it is not. Noor Fatima, check your answer. No. Bhagya. Modulus of 1 minus x, no. No. ನನಗೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವ mod x ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು, but that is not the answer. The mod x is something else. So one function is 1 minus, this is the first function and this is the second function. Okay. Okay. So the first function is 1 minus x plus mod x and the second function is mod x. How? You might wonder, hege alli onde function kaanta untu. Yes, how? We'll see that how. I'll do g composition h. Okay, I'll do g composition h. Yavaglu g composition h agbekagilla, but eradu taranu try ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ. I'll go with g composition h first. So if I do g composition h of x, so by definition how we get answer illide, now you have the answer for how. So it is g of h of x. Okay, g of h of x. What is h of x? What is h of x? What is h of x, students? What I have taken as h of x? What I have taken as h of x, students? Yes, 1 minus. What I have taken as h of x? Yes, 1 minus x plus mod x. So this is my h of x. Okay. What is my g of x? G of x is mod x, which means g of 1 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ mod 1. x ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ mod ಹಾಕುವಂತದ್ದು. So what is this? G of x ಇರೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ what I have? 1 minus x plus mod x I have. Okay, in place of x now I have 1 minus x plus mod x. So according to the definition ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? x ಇದ್ದಾಗ mod x ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ x ಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು mod ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. Similarly here it should be mod ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಒಳಗೆ x ನ ಬದಲು ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. That is 1 minus x plus mod x. 1 minus x plus mod x. Okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? Yeah, someone has raised the hand, which means you have a question. You can put the question in the chat box, Noor Fatima. Why mod ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ? x ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ mod ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ? See, what I have done, I have taken h of x as 1 minus x plus mod x. Okay, 1 minus x plus mod x. And I have taken g of x as mod x. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂತು? ಸಪೋಸ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ g of x ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾನು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ x ಇದ್ದಾಗ mod x ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟು. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ x ಬಂತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ x ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ x ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 1 ಹೀಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ I have to find what is g of x square plus 1. My g of x is this. This is my g of x. G of x is mod x. I want to find what is g of x square plus 1. It is nothing but first mod ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ x ನ ಬದಲು x square plus 1 ಇದೆ. x square plus 1 ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಈಗ ಏನಿದೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ here inside in place of x I have 1 minus x plus mod x. So I have to put a mod first and then I have to write 1 minus x plus mod x. Understood? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? If you have doubt, please put it in the chat box. Okay, understood. So now, so I can see that f is a composition of two functions. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಹ. Okay. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ h of x ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಸಾ ದಿಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಐ assumed that it is a function of, it is a composition of two functions. ಎರಡು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದು ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಟು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್? h of x ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು 1 minus x plus mod x ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡೆ. ಅನದರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ mod x ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದು ಸರಿಯೋ ತಪ್ಪೋ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾ ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಜಿ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ ಅಥವಾ ಹೆಚ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಜಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಎಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಜಿ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ ಇಂದ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಜಿ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಹೆಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಿ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಹೆಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ 1 minus x plus mod x. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ತಗೊಂಡೆ. ಹೆಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ 1 minus x plus mod x. Okay, so that is equal to, okay, g of x ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ರು x ನ ಬದಲು ಏನೇ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ರು ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು mod ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. g ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ x, I just have to put a mod. Okay, I just have to put a mod over there, mod of that particular value. Here in place of x I have 1 minus x plus mod x. So mod ಹಾಕಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ 1 minus x plus mod x. But what is this modulus of 1 minus x plus mod x? It is nothing but f of x. Okay, it is nothing but f of x. Now you have understood. Have you understood now? Okay, yeah. So now, okay, so now I have to prove that this particular function, that is g composition h of x, which is nothing but my f of x, is continuous. I'll say it is continuous. Why it is continuous, students? Nan answer helta idini, it is a continuous function. You tell me the reason why it will be continuous. Why it will be a continuous function? Why it will be a continuous function? Okay, you just check here. What is h of x? h of x ಹೇಗಿದೆ 1 minus x ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ mod x ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? 1 minus x plus mod x. You have studied something of algebra of continuous functions. So if you have some 2 or 3 continuous functions, ಅದನ್ನ add ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ continuous ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. Do you remember that? Yes. So here if you see h of x, okay, if you see h of x, it is the combination of 3 functions. How that? It is a combination of 3 functions. What are those functions? One identity function. Sorry, one is a constant function plus one identity function plus modulus function. ಈ ಮೂರು function continuous ಅಂತ ನಾವು previously prove ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. Constant function is continuous and identity function is continuous and modulus function is continuous. This we have proved earlier. But what is h of x? H of x is nothing but sum and difference of these 3 functions. Okay, h of x is nothing but sum and difference of these 3 functions, which means by algebra of continuous function, h of x is continuous. Okay, by algebra of continuous functions, h of x is continuous. Similarly, you can see that g of x is nothing but mod x. Again, mod is also a continuous function. Okay, again mod is also a continuous function. So being a composition of 2 continuous function, f of x is continuous. Being composition of two continuous functions, h of x is continuous. Yes. Sum of polynomial and modulus function. Yes, good, Nur Fatima. You could make out what it is exactly. Okay. ಇನ್ನೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I'll give some homework questions so that while solving that you will be able to understand. Okay, is that fine, students? Is that fine? Okay, okay. Okay, you can take this question as homework. Okay, you can take this question as homework. Okay, and one more, this question as homework. First one is this, take a screenshot. You have to prove cos x square is continuous and mod of cos x as continuous. This is the second question. Have you taken the screenshot? Yes? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that completes the continuity part. Okay, these are the two homework questions which you have to make a note. Okay, that completes the continuity part. So from tomorrow we'll discuss differentiability. Okay, from tomorrow we'll discuss differentiability. Hardly I'll take 15 minutes for the things which we have to recall. Okay, naale 15 ನಿಮಿಷ ನಾನು recalling ಗೆ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ first year ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಲ್ತಿದೀವಿ that will do first. Okay.